And when Angel Reese comes out and says she ain't the only one everybody's watching, they're watching me too, they're watching others, a day later she gets ejected.
I think Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark. She thinks she's, the reason why this is all happening here. Caitlin Clark was going to get eyeballs whether she played against Angel Reese in LSU or not.
Angel Reese just explodes, and not in a good way. After being torn apart by basketball experts, the LSU star, who's no stranger to drama, finally hit her breaking point. And of course, Caitlin Clark, the golden girl of the WNBA, was right in the middle of it. While Clark continued to quietly dominate, Reese couldn't hold it together. Instead of letting her game speak for itself, Reese opted for a public meltdown that left everyone shaking their heads. Basketball analysts didn't hesitate to point out the obvious. Angel Reese had lost control. Charles Barkley, never one to sugarcoat things, called Reese's antics exactly what they were: immature and unnecessary. Barkley, who has been in the game long enough to recognize when someone's focus has shifted from winning to seeking attention, didn't shy away from highlighting Reese's priorities. Shaquille O'Neal, another outspoken legend, added fuel to the fire, reminding fans that trash talk is only cool if you can back it up on the court. "You can't be out here trying to steal moments when you're not even the one running the game," O'Neal said bluntly. And that's where Angel Reese's downfall was most visible. She was so caught up in trying to play the part of the villain that she lost sight of the one thing that matters in basketball: playing at the highest level. Let's be clear, Reese's numbers aren't bad. Averaging 13.5 points and an impressive 11.9 rebounds per game is respectable. But the issue wasn't whether Reese had the talent. The issue was that she wasn't performing at Caitlin Clark's level, and that was becoming increasingly difficult for her to accept. Clark, often compared to Steph Curry for her shooting range and basketball IQ, has been putting up historic numbers that leave fans and analysts in awe. Her averages of 17.1 points, 8.2 assists, and 4.9 rebounds per game put her in a league of her own. Clark isn't just a good player, she's a game changer. What makes this rivalry so interesting is how stark the contrast is between these two players. Clark, from the moment she stepped onto the court, has been all business. Her style is precise, methodical, and deadly efficient. She doesn't waste energy on antics or drama. She lets her stats and performances speak for themselves. Reese, on the other hand, seems to thrive on attention, and not necessarily the kind that comes from great play. Instead, her approach often feels more theatrical. While Clark's cool demeanor has earned her praise as the ultimate competitor, Reese's attempts to get under Clark's skin have backfired, and the experts have made it clear which player they believe is headed for greatness. Dan Patrick, another veteran voice in sports media, took it a step further, implying that Reese's behavior was a symptom of her inability to dominate at the professional level. "You're not coming in and dominating our game," Patrick said, signaling that while Reese might have been a star at LSU, the WNBA is a different beast. The more Reese tries to play the villain role, the more obvious it becomes that she's struggling to keep up with Clark's meteoric rise. Who do you think has the upper hand in this rivalry? Reese with her bold personality, or Clark with her calm composure? Share your take in the comments. If the expert analysis wasn't enough, social media delivered the final blow. Angel Reese's attempt to rattle Caitlin Clark with the "you can't see me" gesture became an instant meme, but not in the way she had hoped. "You can't see me" quickly began trending, but instead of celebrating Reese's boldness, it became a tool for fans to mock her. Memes circulated comparing Reese's taunt to a child's tantrum, with captions poking fun at her inability to keep up with Clark's dominance on the court. The public seemed to agree with what the experts had already said. Reese's focus wasn't where it needed to be. Instead of letting her game do the talking, she was relying on cheap shots and dramatic gestures to make her presence known. And in the era of social media, where every moment is captured and replayed endlessly, Reese's actions were scrutinized more than ever. The overwhelming response? She was trying too hard to stay relevant in a game that was quickly becoming Caitlin Clark's show. While Clark's highlight reel plays flooded social media, Reese's taunt became the punchline of the week. Fans didn't rally behind her, they rallied against her. And as the memes piled up, it became clear that Reese's PR move had backfired in a major way. Even Reese's attempts to defend her actions and explain her passion for the game fell flat. In interviews and social media posts, she talked about her competitive nature and desire to win, but it wasn't enough. The damage had already been done. The public had made up their minds. Angel Reese was more focused on playing to the crowd than playing the game. While Angel Reese was caught up in the whirlwind of criticism and social media backlash, Caitlin Clark remained laser-focused on what really mattered: basketball. Clark's response to the drama? Silence. She didn't need to engage in a war of words or clap back at Reese's taunts because her performances were doing all the talking. Take Clark's historic August 30th performance, for example. She dropped 31 points and dished out 12 assists against the Chicago Sky, becoming the first rookie in WNBA history to pull off such a feat in a regular season game. And she did it with the kind of calm, controlled demeanor that has become her trademark. There were no theatrics, no trash talk, just pure dominating basketball. This was the ultimate power move. While Reese was busy trying to create moments, Clark was busy making history. Clark's ability to stay composed, to rise above the noise, is what truly sets her apart. She doesn't need to rely on gestures or dramatic flair to make her mark. Her game does that for her. What's fascinating about this so-called rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is that it's largely one-sided. Reese seems determined to frame herself as Clark's rival, constantly trying to tear her down with trash talk and attention-seeking gestures. But Clark? She's too busy making history to even notice. It's hard to call this a true rivalry when one player is so clearly outshining the other. Clark's poise, focus, and ability to block out the noise are what set her apart from not just Reese, but from many players in the league. She's already become a transformative figure in the WNBA, bringing in new fans and drawing attention to women's basketball in ways that few before her have. Meanwhile, Reese's antics are starting to wear thin. What was once seen as fiery competitiveness is now being viewed as immaturity. And as Clark continues to soar, Reese is left trying to pick up the pieces of a public image that's been tarnished by her own actions. The Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark saga has captivated the WNBA and its fans. But let's be honest, it's not much of a contest. While Reese might want to position herself as Clark's rival, the reality is that Caitlin Clark has already left her in the dust. Clark's dominance on the court, combined with her calm, collected demeanor, makes her the undeniable star of this story. Angel Reese may have exploded, but it's Caitlin Clark who's truly making waves. And if Reese wants to stay in the conversation, she'll need to stop relying on theatrics and start focusing on the one thing that truly matters: winning. What's your take on this rivalry? Are Reese's antics justified, or is Clark simply in a different league? Let me know what you think. And don't forget, if you want to stay updated on the latest WNBA news, drama, and highlights, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story.